Curious, as these teams start to take shape in 2023 and then 2024, like what was your leadership style in conjunction with a player like Caitlin, but also the rest of your teammates?
Yeah, I would say like definitely those first 2 years, we definitely were working together to like, I was definitely more of like the calmer presence and being like, hey, like look me in the eyes, you know, deep breath, like it's all gonna be okay. And I think like the leadership style that I really had was just like trust. Like she trusted me because she had seen me like putting in the work in the gym. She knew how much I cared. Like
Kate Martin is aware of what happens when your best friend is the most talked about player in college basketball, and she isn't holding back. Kate talks about their incredible Iowa run, from Caitlin Clark's crazy court antics to the hilarious mayhem off the court. Imagine one wayward squirrel, inside jokes, and slam dunks. Are you curious? You ought to be. This goes beyond basketball. It's a side of humor you didn't realize you needed along with behind-the-scenes genius. To put it mildly, Iowa was never dull.
Wrap your head around 139 games. Like, that seems like a ton of games. And lucky enough, we've had postseasons where we've got a lot of extra games, whether it's been the Big Ten tournament, whether it's been the NCAA tournament. We've been able to have some long seasons, and that's something I'm really thankful for. And to be honest, like, I don't think I have the type of career if I don't have a teammate like Kate. She's been one that has had my back. You know, she holds me accountable. I hold her accountable. But I think at the same time, like, me and Kate are wired so similarly that, like, we get each other on a different level. She's so competitive. You know, her dad was a football coach growing up.
The entire period was legendary. I mean, complete folkloric status. Kate Martin was the team mom, the floor general, the locker room therapist, the heart, the glue, the sideline hype squad, and for some reason, the team joker. She was more than just a basketball player. Even if you were watching on a Tuesday night in your living room, she lived it with a kind of caffeinated passion that made you want to jump for a loose ball.
For this, because you were the first person who I felt like said, yeah, Kate Martin's a pro. Like, draft Kate Martin, she's going to be able to do different things. I think you started saying that you're either sophomore or junior year. And, you know, media members aside, I'm not, you know, maybe it's me, maybe it's not me, not going to throw myself under the bus here. We were like, you know what? I think she could be a fringe WNBA player. She has potential, but, you know, Caitlin's given her endorsement. If there's one thing I've learned about you in covering you for 4 or 5 years or whatever, how long it's been, when you talk ball, you genuinely talk basketball. Like, there's no personal relationship attached. So I guess, how do you feel about Kate doing really well and unrivaled so far? And now she's getting a chance at the Valkyrie to really make a statement next year too.
She is currently living her WNBA dream like a real-life sports film, but she is also the director, the star, the cinematographer, and most likely the composer of the soundtrack. Don't fool ourselves. On that Iowa team, Kate was more than just a leader. She was the epitome of a team. Kate was the one who made sure everyone knew the scouts stayed locked in and remembered to stay hydrated, even if Caitlin was nailing logo threes and defying the laws of physics.
So Caitlin Clark revealed her squad goals, sort of. This is a play on words, a pun, if you will, just having a little fun with Caitlin Clark's latest interview. She did an appearance with, I believe his name pronunciation is David Eichel of Swarmcast 24/7 Sports. I will link the full piece in the description.
Kate Martin was always there to provide Iowa with a break, a spark, or a caustic comment to defuse the situation. And Golden State. Do you mean the actual House of Splash? The location where a 40-inch vertical is just as valuable as basketball IQ. For a player who is all hustle, brains, and hustle once again, is there a more poetic place to end? She blends in well, creating screens like she's getting paid for every bruise, hitting corner threes like they anger her, and slicing through defenses like a hot knife through defensive miscommunications.
Quick, what did you notice about Caitlin's like work ethic?
Yeah.
Was there anything that stood out?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she was in the gym constantly.
Yeah.
And it was like the way she approached everything too was like, it was like with a sort of excellence. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to go through the motions and like whatever. It was like, no, like I'm here to kick your butt in every single drill, every single practice. Like, and especially whenever our like gray squad guys were playing against us, it was like, if you're across from me, you're my enemy, you know? And like, I think that's just kind of how you have to approach things to get better. And she had that, next level mindset, and it really just raised us all up with her.
Yeah, I feel like
Kate adds that Midwestern grit and corn-fed persistence that shouts, "I boxed out for 14 years before I ever attempted a shot, despite the Warriors' gloss." And the entire draft night storyline, which merits a Hallmark film of its own. She had no intention of being drafted. She probably thought she would be applauding, cheering, and maybe sneaking a Sprite when she arrived to support Caitlin. Before you know it, she's approaching in high heels. She unexpectedly entered and shook Kathy Angelbert's hand, saying, "Wait me." The plot surprise was the most morally upright in WNBA history. And, my God, she flourished in Vegas. She did, of course. Kate doesn't perform background work. She entered the locker room as if she had been there since Bill Lambert created defense, even though she was a newbie. Kate had that Big Ten mentality, whether she was winning those mid-practice drills that no one else wanted to run or playing hard-nosed minutes in actual games. No weak sauce, no days off, and no justifications. In about 4 seconds, she won Becky Hammond over. Because she does the small things that make large things possible. Even the veterinarians adore her. She is aware of her whereabouts. She has a PhD in yelling the appropriate thing at the appropriate moment, and she communicates like a point guard. She also doesn't flip the ball over as if it were made of lava.
Workout or training video, I've discussed how Caitlin Clark is going to have time to work on her game that she otherwise hasn't had before. She went straight from college to the pros, grueling schedule to start the WNBA season. It's a scary thought for the rest of the league. I've articulated that on many occasions, but she said it herself too, which of course adds fuel to that. And then the other was Unrivaled and Kate Martin's performance at Unrivaled. Kate Martin has looked great thus far at Unrivaled. Obviously, Kate and Caitlin have a bit of a relationship.
The basketball gods formally declared, "Yeah, she's one of our favorites," when she moved to Golden State. Because Kate Martin is essentially a living algorithm in that system, which is based on movement reads and split-second decisions. She's cutting the back door for a layup as soon as you blink. She is drilling a 3 like it's a practice shot after you assist her. Before you can recover, she is driving by you, dealing it off, giving a child in the third row a high five, and clapping on defense because you overplayed the handoff. The amount of sense that makes is almost irritating. Look, Kate is more than simply a performer. She is a presence. Every Iowa supporter, impartial onlooker, and even casual fans who turned in because they believed Caitlin was going to drop 40 all took notice of her. She was calling things out, giving back slaps, and encouraging others in the huddles as if they were Halloween candies. The fans sensed it as well. Because they know she understands, she has an army of admirers who wear her jersey even when she is on the bench. She understands the purpose of sports.
Looking back on it, and then even just talking to you now, it's like, yes, Caitlin is like a big focal point of the team.
Yeah.
She's going to have to do a lot of the scoring, all the things. And it's almost like good cop, bad cop or something.
Yeah.
Now, I don't mean it in like
No, yeah.
literal terms, but she just had to like be herself, and that was going to win you games. But then you had to come in and kind of be like a calming effect and that. So I'm actually
Cooperation, humility, perseverance, and the subtle capacity to chuckle when the referee calls a charge that was plainly false. Her story illustrates what occurs when you combine hard effort and passion, preparation and fate, and add a little shine to make it more unique. To be honest, there's something incredibly fulfilling about witnessing someone who wasn't meant to succeed. Kate's achievements seem intimate. It's similar to witnessing your closest friend be promoted and then unofficially take over as CEO. She was that teammate that always seemed to be having the fun of her life, picked everyone up, passed up open shots so someone else might gain confidence, and dove for balls during 30-point blowouts. Kate was the brains of the entire Iowa team, which was based on teamwork. The unheralded hero became a sung hero. Years later, we're all still repeating, "Remember that one time, Kate?" As if it were only yesterday. You never truly quit that squad when you have the same passion for the game as she has. It is carried by you. You turn into it. Iowa supporters support her as if she were still in the Big Ten tournament because of this. Cece still gets excited when she talks about her because of this.
I think
teammate relationships are like some of the most special and unique relationships you can have. This is Caitlin Clark, this is Kate Martin. They both played at Iowa, and tonight they'll play for the first time in the WNBA. And this is the moment that they see each other for the first time on the court. Like I said, the teammate relationship is already so special, but you can just imagine in Caitlin Clark's position, where she's already admitted it's quite isolating being this popular at this point, so much so that she doesn't really go out very much. Not to mention there's been so much criticism online, not by the players, but simply the territory that comes with being a popular woman in the women's.
Because of this, every former teammate most likely has a tale about how Kate Martin kept me from going downhill before practice. Or Kate Martin made a hilarious comment during warm-ups, which defused the tension just before we defeated Indiana by 22 points. It's simply uncommon. That feeling, that chemistry, that magnetism. She is the type of person who is really sincere. Even her detractors are saying things like, "Ugh, she's so likable. My trash talk is being ruined by it." She is undoubtedly adored, even by the mascots. They are now pen buddies after she most likely gave the Lynx mascot a fist bump. She's really cool. In the least conceited way possible, she adds vitality to the main character. She is aware of her abilities, but she would prefer that you be in the spotlight. She will simply be over here out-rebounding a 5-foot taller player and giving out assists like a vending machine. We need more sports narratives like hers, and not for no reason. Moore put forth too much effort to avoid being noticed, even if he wasn't meant to become a professional. There are more people who arrive, work hard, and are not only prepared but also overqualified when their numbers are called. However, flashy mixed-ups, nil deals, or popular 12-sack videos weren't necessary for Kate Martin. She most likely has a few, to be fair. All she needed was a chance. And now that she has it, she is making every second count.
Great at Unrivaled thus far. There's no question about that. And it's funny that Caitlin emphasized exactly what Kate had said about playing free. Those were the words Kate Martin used when she talked about her unrivaled excellence. So it's fascinating to see it echoed. I don't know if that's because they talked or just they think alike. Obviously, they play alike in the way that they understand where to be on the floor together. They had so much success together. And I think a lot of people are excited about the possibility of what Kate Martin can do with the Valkyries, Caitlin Clark included, despite her saying she wants to recruit her and team up again.
Yes, I will always adore Kate. I will always support her as if she were still in Iowa City, leading that huddle, diving for that ball, and applauding that teammate because her enthusiasm is the same whether she's wearing black and gold, red and silver, or blue and gold. And Kate Martin is one of the reasons why basketball has a soul, which it does. And then there was that run, which culminated in Iowa's first ever national championship game in program history. It was utterly insane, adrenaline-fueled, and what on Cup is happening? Caitlin Clark went to scorched earth and redefined what it meant to be a walking bucket. She scored 41 points against LSU as if it were personal, and then she did the same thing against South Carolina, who were unbeaten, scoring 41 more points as if it were a casual Tuesday workout. From space, you could hear the basketball world's collective gasp. She wasn't merely dreaming. Your eyebrows would spring off your face as she orchestrated a basketball opera in which every 3 minutes was a soprano note. To be honest, though, none of that occurred in a vacuum. Without a supporting cast that can move, screen, defend, and read your mind like a clairvoyant with a clipboard, you can't pull off double 41s in the NCAA tournament.